America, you're wrong in the way you have treated 30 to 40 million black people. America, you are wrong. You're wrong for the way you treat the poor in this society. America, you are wrong. You're wrong to spend billions of dollars to give homes to Jews who are refugees from Russia, while your own citizens are living under bridges and in cardboard boxes, and the homeless continue to grow. You're wrong, America.
Hello everyone, welcome once again to AfriPost. I hope wherever you're watching us from, you're having a great time. Now, there was one clip of Minister Louis Farrakhan that I was watching of one Donor Hill show he attended. And there was this lady who was saying that she is afraid to see black people get to power. And when Minister Louis Farrakhan got the mic to talk and respond to her, the minister told her that you are afraid because you know that we will do to you what you've done to us. And this is the case of every white in America, because one thing we know is there is a sense in which whites are very, very much afraid to see black people get to a majority status. They are afraid to see black people get to levers of power and to be the ones who control every aspect of the American society. But then one would ask himself, what are some of the worst things that have been done to black people as a minority demographic group in America compared to other minority groups? To answer this, take a listen to what Minister Louis Farrakhan has to say in this breathtaking clip. Let's watch.
I remember when I was a young boy, there was a man on radio, his name was Gabriel Heedham. And he would come on saying, there's good news tonight. People want to hear something good. We know that the world is evil, but can't you find something good? Isn't there something good in the American people? Isn't there something good to focus on? Because the more you feed evil, you promote evil. The more you feed good, you promote good. So now, America is eating at the slop trough. What's the latest news? Have you heard? Child, I saw it on the front page. The top of the news tonight. But look at the fruit of it. You have a public that is losing confidence in the institutions that make America what it is. You have a public that is losing confidence in the Congress. A public losing confidence in democracy. In the last presidential election, less than half of those qualified to vote bothered to vote. If the greatest gift in a democracy is the right to vote, and less than half of those qualified to vote took part in a presidential election, can't you see? Can't you see that the American people are losing confidence? And as they lose confidence in leadership, they're now losing confidence in the institutions that undergird and teach morality to the American people. The church has lost its credibility among the people. There was a time when you said, I'm Father so-and-so, I'm Reverend so-and-so. That meant something. But today, the young will come into church and rob the preacher and his congregation because they see the preacher as a pimp hustling the people rather than bringing them real salvation. They see the politicians the same. They see education as not working because the people who are educated can't solve the problems, the complex problems of the society. So the people are losing confidence. This is not just black people. White people are losing confidence in government. Ross Perot tapped into this big vein of dissatisfaction. And even though he backed out and then at the last minute came back, he garnered 19% of the vote, which was historic. So whoever wanted to be president had to come and kiss the ring of Ross Perot, who had tapped into this large body of dissatisfied Americans. Dissatisfaction must bring about a change. Clinton became president because in him the dissatisfied saw perhaps change. A young man. And now whatever he's done that you don't like, you're beating him up now. Tearing him to pieces. And after you shred him, who else you gonna put in? Mr. Dole is getting ready. Mr. Kemp is getting ready. Some others are getting ready to inherit what? What you've destroyed. The country is in bad shape. Hollywood is further corrupting the people. When I was a youngster and went to the movies, my mother could give me a dime or a quarter. That was a long time ago. And I could go to the movies on Saturday with a quarter, see a movie, get some popcorn, and still have a little left over. Right. It's true. It's true. That was a long time ago. I know I don't look it. I know. You see, the beauty of trying to live right, trying to live clean, and trying to have wholesome thoughts is that it defeats the process of aging.
Talk, minister.
I won't get into that now. But I am deeply concerned at the destruction of the church as a moral force in the society. There have always been corrupt priests, corrupt ministers, corrupt rabbis, corrupt sheikhs, mullahs, imams. But when you take the corrupt one out and focus on the corrupt one, you begin to make the people believe that the whole thing is as this one. Then Hollywood has gradually degenerated film in the name of reality. A person's bedroom should be private. I mean, if you're a decent human being, you don't say to your wife, not your brother's wife, your wife, Come, darling, let's go into the bedroom and open the doors and let the whole world see what we do, how we do.
Teach me. Teach.
Sex is private.
That's right.
It is the act that God ordained, not between consenting adults, but between mature, sober-minded individuals whose love for one another has reached the point where they are willing to make a lifelong commitment to each other, and their coming together repeats the words of God found in the Genesis. Come, baby, let us make man. Huh? That's private. There's a song I used to sing, ain't nobody's business if I do or what I do. But since J. Edgar Hoover liked to peep, they must have named the Hoover vacuum cleaner after him, because the Hoover vacuum cleaner seems to suck up all the dirt. J. Edgar Hoover was busy trying to find all the dirt he could find on anybody, and naturally the place that he looked was where? The bedroom. Now I don't know what movie to go to. You take your children to a movie, your wife to a movie, unless you've been thoroughly desensitized, you're embarrassed. Now I'm brought into somebody's madness. My little girl children, my little boy children hear the foulest language. If I don't use it in the home, it makes no difference. I take them to the movie, or I just turn on my television now. When I was in show business and was a calypso singer and dancer, where you move your hips and other things and whatnot, I remember when I was on television, on the Ernie Kovacs show, you've heard of him. And when they put the camera on me, I had one of these kind of, Cuban shirts, and it's kind of open in the front and big puff sleeves. And I was, I was doing what I was doing. But they kept that camera from here up. And they told me afterwards, said, we cannot show that on the screen.
Listen up.
There was a level of decency. Today, please. Can you imagine a woman on television with a string on TV? Your underwear, sisters, that's your business. I mean, that's why they call it underclothes. Because what you got over, what is under, ain't nobody's business but your own. Now they're saying, well, hey, on TV, look at my underwear. I wear, you ain't even got nothing on till I get my hands on you. So you see women parading with no clothes on. What does this do? It begins to take away the natural shyness, the natural shame of a woman to be exposed. So you don't care anymore. You're a shyless, shameless creature. You go into public half nude. You don't care. You want men to see your bosom. You want men to see your backside. You want men to drool at your body. So what did you marry? You married somebody that lusted over your bosom, lusted over your backside, and when he discovered every square inch of it, then he went looking for somebody else's. Don't you want a man to love you for you? He never gets acquainted with the vast infinity of your mind. He's dumb enough to believe that sex is the be-all and end-all of relationships. But tell him, sister. Tell him. The sex act only lasts 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some of you may feel you stallions. But hell, after an hour, two, there's 22 more hours. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with her head? What are you going to do with her heart? Preach, Master, preach. The country is gone to hell. America is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah.
Listen.
If Lot came back and saw Columbus, he wouldn't even have to go to Atlanta. And don't even think about San Francisco. If Lot just came to Columbus, he'd say, God, take me. I thought Sodom and Gomorrah was bad, but Columbus. You've so undermined morals that the people take their low desires now for a God beside God. I do what I want to do.
That's what they say.
Don't nobody tell me. So your country is in decline. I was only trying to point out that $50 million to sustain an educational plantation is to ensure that his children will be on top 50 or 100 more years in the future. So while it looks like a philanthropic act and may very well be, but to maintain a system that is not educating is only perpetuating the madness that is before the American people. And so, Columbus, the question then becomes, what shall we do? Can we get out of this? Certainly we can. Certainly we can. By what means shall we get out of the condition that we're in? Can America be saved? Yes. But the hour is late, America. And if you don't do what truth demands, then you're finished. You will go the same way that Rome went, Babylon went, Sodom and Gomorrah went. God's hand of judgment right now is on America. Right. This is why nature seems to have gone wild. It's the hand of God telling you, I'm displeased. And the book says, nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be wars and rumors of wars. There will be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, but these are just the beginning of sorrows. And then it talks about our personal relationship, how we would betray one another, deliver one another up. All of this is going on right now. The end of this kind of world is come. And Clinton can't lead you out of it. God don't send politicians to deliver people. He anoints his servants, the prophets, the apostles, the messengers, to warn the people. Whether you hear or forbear, that is on you. America, you're wrong in the way you have treated 30 to 40 million black people. America, you are wrong. You're wrong for the way you treat the poor in this society. America, you are wrong. You're wrong to spend billions of dollars to give homes to Jews who are refugees from Russia, while your own citizens are living under bridges and in cardboard boxes, and the homeless continue to grow. You're wrong, America. You're wrong, America, to lie to the people. And the Tonkin Gulf resolution was based on a lie that caused 500,000 Americans to go to war in Vietnam on the base of a lie. Thousands lost their lives. Hundreds and thousands more were wounded. And many thousands more came back from Vietnam incapacitated, and they're not straight today on the base of a lie. You're wrong, America. You're wrong to treat your veterans of foreign wars who have built the country like second-class citizens. You're wrong, America. You're wrong to produce a society like this. You systematically pull the female out of the house. You disturb the economic balance by creating an enemy in Russia. It was Americans who financed the Bolshevik Revolution that brought the communists into power. Listen, America. You set up the two camps, and then an arms race took place. And America had to borrow money to build bigger rockets. Russia had to borrow money to build bigger rockets. And now, after 40 years of a Cold War, the taxpayers' money in atomic weapons that you now have to destroy and dismantle. And what have the poor gotten out of this? Nothing. Who will speak for the poor in America? Kennedy is a man from the rich. Come on. Clinton was not exactly rich, but he certainly didn't know poverty like we know it. Right. Who will speak for the poor? They don't have any voice in this society. Congress doesn't represent the poor. Congress represents the special interests, the lobbyists, the people that can help them get reelected while the masses suffer. You fight, you bleed, you die for a country, and you get sick And you go to a hospital and they tell you if you don't have insurance, we can't take you.
That's what they say. That's right. Go ahead now.
They're borrowing Social Security, borrowing from pension funds to pay America's indebtedness. So some of you that are young today, when you think it's time for you to retire and live off of your retirement, you may find there ain't no money there. America, you're wrong. And somebody got to help you get right. You're angry with Farrakhan. What have I done? You call me a hater. You call me an anti-Semite. I've never harmed one Jewish person, one white person. I've never touched a hair of your head.
Right.
Nobody who follows me has ever done that.
Right.
So if I'm a hate teacher, why can't you show me some actions that we have taken that have destroyed your synagogues, burned your homes? We have done none of that. What is it that you're afraid of? Did you think that they thought this number of people would be out in Columbus, Georgia? Suppose it were a free event. You wouldn't have been able to get near here. But each one of you paid $10. Some paid $15. And they didn't pay that to hear a singer of songs or to be entertained. They came because something in them is touched by something in me. Some came out of curiosity because they want to know, why are white people frightened of Farrakhan? What is it about me that you're afraid of? I've never been a violent person. I will soon be 61 years of age. I have never been arrested in my life. Go back and search my record from grammar school all the way up. I was always a good student. Never was in any trouble. Do you think I got to be 61 years of age now and I'm going to be a troublemaker? However, God gifted me with a heart of deep love for my people and deep love for the suffering of human beings. It's not hate that drives me. It's love that drives me. It's not hate of white people that makes me come and risk my life. It's love of God, love of truth, and love of you that makes me do so. But just as the wicked hated Jesus without a cause,
Listen.
he was not an evil man, but they tried to make him look evil to justify what those in authority wanted to do because the people were going after Jesus. What are you afraid of? You're afraid because a black man that you don't control, a black man that you don't control, is calling black people, Hispanic people, and white people, and they are responding. Some of you don't mind black people responding to me. But what you're frightened to death of is that poor white people will hear what I have to say. Because it is they, the poor whites, that the country has been taken from.
That's right.
The blacks ain't never had it. So look at you. Now our great movie stars can play the role as in the Philadelphia story of a lawyer who disliked homosexuality. And while it's supposed to be a movie to give understanding to the plight of those who suffer from AIDS, very subtly, it is a movie that breaks down the wall of resistance to homosexuality. And if any of us speak from the books of God against the things that God disapproves of, why should we be made to feel that we are incorrect? If I'm a liar, God does not approve of that. I got to clean that up. If I'm a thief or an adulterer, God does not approve of that. I've got to clean that up. If I'm effeminate, God does not approve of that. I got to clean it up. So God does not like homosexuality. And He clearly says it, that it is an abomination to Him. Then while you and I may engage in that, God is saying, I can accept you like that. And just as I destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for that, and then said, as it was in the days of Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man. Well then, I will not approve of your conduct. Do you think that you can come to Christ with a dress up by your thighs? That if you sneeze, you be naked? Can you imagine Christ returning and you slithering up to Him with your bosom half out? Hey, baby, how you doing, Jesus? Oh, you back? You think He's going to accept that? Hard women trying to be men. Hey, Jesus. Glad to see you. Or big men trying to be soft. Hi, Jesus. Glad to see you. Which one of us as preachers would God accept trying to run through the congregation, hustling people and not elevating people, not feeding the flock and nurturing the Spirit of God in the people that would enable the people to rise against their own evil and the evil that is in society? Which one of us do you think Jesus Christ would accept? None. Which one of you would He accept? You talking about I'm better because I'm white. What you gonna do if Jesus come back and He got hair like lamb's wool and feet like brass burned in an oven? What you gonna do? You can't accept no black Jesus, huh? So what you gonna say? Call 911, there's a nigger at the door. Georgia, Can you accept a black Jesus Christ, Georgia? Boy, you'd be in a world of trouble if he came back black, wouldn't you? Tell the truth. Ask the Pope why he got a black Madonna and a black baby Jesus in his secret chamber.
Go ahead.
Ask the white Masons and Shriners. Who is Hiram? Who is the real worshipful master, and why does he sit in the east and not in the west? All right.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
This is why in all your integration, you don't integrate the church and you don't integrate the shrine.
That's right.
How come? Don't you want integration? I'm so bigoted. I'm so hateful. Why don't you open up the shrine and let the black shrine and the white shrine go to the shrine together?
That's right.
Why don't you have one grand lodge with all the black Masons and the white Masons meeting together? See, then you couldn't carry on like you do. Because you know that this black man is the base of your whole secret order. I think I better tell it all while I'm here. The whole Masonic order is built on 33 degrees of knowledge. Degrees of a circle. There's 360 degrees in a circle. Where are the other 327 degrees?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Put it to him. Teach, man. Teach.
You don't have them in the West. Where are they?
Yeah.
So all of you in Masonry, you look into the east, where light comes from.
Yes, sir.
What light are you looking for to come out of the east?
Oh, man. Go ahead.
Habakkuk the prophet said, God came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran. Come on. He's coming out of the east, even as lightning shines from the east, even unto the west. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the eagles are gathered together, there shall the carcass be. The base of your ritual is the black man. The black man, an ancient man, who is a master architect. Our fathers are the builders of the universe. Not just builders of pyramids, builders of universe. But what happened to us? Somebody hit us in the head and carried us on a westerly course and buried us in the north corner in a shallow grave. Some wicked ruffians
Teach, man, teach.
A few of them recanted, but there were 3 of them that carried it out. Jubilo, jubilo, jubilo. Who is jubilo, jubilo, and jubilo? It ain't Tweedledee and Tweedledum. It's you. Jesus put it another way. A man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho. And on the way, he fell among thieves who hit him in his head and robbed him of his raiment and left him wounded in the road. A priest came by and he passed by on the other side. A Levite came and looked at him, but he didn't do nothing to help him. But along came the Good Samaritan, coming in that same direction from Jerusalem to Jericho. Those 2 cities are in the news today. Jerusalem and Jericho. I've been to both cities. And the Good Samaritan saw the man in the road, and he poured oil in his wound and bandaged his wound. Brought him to an innkeeper and gave the innkeeper 2 pence and said, if it is more than what I've given you on my return, I will, in other words, take care of the bill. Another parable Jesus made to describe this same Masonic secret. A father had some sons. And one of his sons told his father, give me my inheritance. And he took his inheritance and went into a strange country and tried to join himself on to be a citizen in that strange country. But he fell down in that strange land, husking corn and feeding swine. But one day a famine arose, and his condition became so terrible. It said he came to himself. Meaning he was other than himself, but then because of a famine, he came to himself. And then he said, I think. He began thinking again. I think. See, something was wrong with his head. I think I will arise and go to my father. And he started walking toward the father. And the father saw him a long way off and went out to meet him. And when the son saw the father, he fell down and he said, Father, I have sinned, and I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father knew that boy, and he picked him up, and he said, go kill the fatted calf. But the brothers got angry and said, why? He's out there in that strange land cavorting with strange women. We've been here with you all along. Why are you going to do this for him? He said, go get the ring. Put it on his finger. Go get the robe. Put it on his back. He said, you'd have stayed at home. You did well, but rejoice, because this that was lost is now found. This that was blind can now see. This that was dead is alive now forevermore. Now, what does it all mean? See, Jerusalem was a city first built by the black man. It used to be called Jebus, also Salem and Ariel. But when it was founded by the Jews, they called it Jerusalem, which means founded in peace. Jericho was a city of confusion. And when you leave something founded in peace and go into a city of confusion, you went down. It didn't mean he went down physically, but he went down spiritually from a state of peace and contentment of mind, from a state of obedience to the law and will of God, to a confused state of existence. And on the way, he met some thieves who hit him in his head like they do today. But only they didn't take his Nike shoes and his Bulls jacket. They took his fine raiment and they left him wounded, half dead in the road. The black man went down from a state of peace in Africa to a land of confusion in America. And in between Africa and America, we fell among some thieves. European thieves, African thieves, Arab thieves, Jewish thieves, who saw in us merchandise. So they stripped us of our holy robes and they hit us in our head, taking away the knowledge of self, the knowledge of God, the knowledge of our ancient past, our culture, our language, our history. By the rivers of Babylon we wept when we remembered Zion. We hung our harps on the willow tree, and our joyful song had turned to mourning. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, and they that carried us away captive required of us a song, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. And the answer came back, how can I sing the Lord's song in a strange land? We were brought to America, a strange land, among strange people whose ways were strange to the ways of our ancient fathers. And they hit us in the head, and we couldn't remember anymore our Father's house. We couldn't remember anymore our own names, our own language, our own God. We were as a victim of amnesia. Like in the book of Daniel, they brought the Hebrew boys out of their own land into a land of captivity. And they changed their names to Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Belteshazzar. Like they changed your names to Johnson and Jones and Smith and Culpeper and O'Reilly and Overbrook and Jackson and Johnson and Washington and Lincoln. These are not your names. These are the names of your former slave masters and tormentors. You got hit in the head. And you laid there in the road wounded. Hiram, oh Master Hiram. A master architect, but like that spider, that something went wrong. He couldn't build his web anymore. The black man in America, descendants of great builders. Black man laid out Washington, D.C. in a state of amnesia. Black man with his scientific mind developed street lights for America. Black man invented the cotton gin because we were the one breaking our back picking cotton for you, but you got the credit.
Go ahead. Preach, man.
But even though we were wounded, we contributed mightily to this society. Out of our pain and our suffering, the spirituals were born. Deep River.
Preach, man. Preach.
My home is over Jordan. I looked over Jordan and what did I see? Coming to carry me home. See, we knew this wasn't home. It was a band of angels coming after me. They were coming to carry me home. Oh, don't you want to go to that promised land where all is peace, because now you're in a state of confusion.
That's it.
So if you can't walk away, if you can't run away, come on, folk, let's steal away. Let's just steal away to Zion. Because my God, He calls me. He calls me by the thunder. I hear Him call deep. Within my soul, I know I ain't got long to stay here.
You preaching, man.
He's hit in the head. He's wounded. He's a master architect. But he forgot the plan by which the temple of Solomon was built. He's in a shallow grave. He's waiting for the master grip. Because nobody could lift him. Many tried, but they couldn't get him up. There were 3 that came, you see. Y'all all right? There were 3 that came, and when they grabbed him, the flesh was withered, and it slipped, and it couldn't get a grip. Another one tried. He couldn't get a grip, but the master came. Only the master could get him up. And the master came with a master grip and put it on Hiram and pulled him up out of his shallow grave. The priest came by on the other side. Ever since we've been in America, we've had churches. But for 300 years, white folk, you had church. We weren't even allowed to have church. And when in 1760 or 1780, you found it not incompatible for us to be slaves and Christians at the same time, you made us Christians. If you were Baptist, we became Baptist. If you were Methodist, we became Methodist. If you were Episcopalian, we became Episcopalian. Whatever you were, we became. But you wouldn't let us worship with you. We had to go out in the field. The Bible was a locked book. We couldn't read it, brothers. Anybody that would teach us how to read would be beaten down. Knowledge does not belong to white people. Knowledge is a human right. And when you deprive a human being of knowledge, you deprive that human being of that which separates man from the beast of the field. Hit him in the head. And the priest walked by on the other side. It is not the collet. is a hater. He's just angry. He's angry because the church walked by on the other side. Don't tell me that you got compassion on this pitiful black man and you don't do nothing to heal his condition. You walk by on the other side. When they were hanging us on trees right here in Georgia, you walk by on the other side. When they were castrating us here in Georgia, you walk by on the other side. When a man couldn't be a man, if he had a pretty daughter, the sheriff would come and ask him, send your daughter out to me. And you better do it or he'll kill you. And the church walked by on the other side. And even now, he's a Baptist, all right. But he ain't First Baptist. You First Baptist. And because he couldn't find comfort worshiping with you, he formed his own Baptist church. He was a Methodist, but he couldn't find comfort because your Christianity didn't go deep enough to allow you to accept your former slave as a spiritual equal in the house of God. So he became African Methodist Episcopalian. Am I lying?
No, sir, you own it, minister.
Is this what you call hate? Is this what you call bigotry? Because I remind my people of what they have suffered and what they continue to suffer, you call that hate? Well, what is Schindler's List? Is it not a reminder of the evil of yesterday's Germans? Today's Germans are not guilty. But you want today's Jews and today's Germans to be reminded of a painful chapter in history so that it might never again be repeated. But when we try to remind our people of a painful history, you call it hate teaching. You call it reverse racism. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And the priests walked by on the other side. Go ahead, minister. The Levite. Who is the Levite? The Levite is from the Aaronic priesthood. They are members of the Jewish people. You've always been sympathetic with us. You've come to see about us. You looked down on us, saw our condition, but you never poured oil in our wounds.
Oh, you got it, though.
No, you didn't. Because if you as a Jew taught us what Moses taught you, we would be as free today as you are.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We would be as accomplished today as you are.
That's right.
But you showed sympathy. But you didn't pour oil in our wound. But a good Samaritan.
He came.
Coming out of the east, even unto the west.
Been here.
He was a master, not a spirit, but a son of man, a man coming from a man, but he's a man in whom God has placed healing, power, and wisdom. How do you know that he came?
Come on, minister.
How do you know, Columbus, that he came? How do you know when the lights have gone out that the electrician has arrived? When the lights come on again,
All over the world.
all over the world,
Go ahead, minister.
then you know the electrician, a world electrician, has turned the lights on again. How do you know that he came? When the wounded man
Listen.
has oil poured in his wound, and he stands up and begins in his infancy again to build again, to vision again, to start to build the kingdom, not Solomon's temple, but the kingdom of God.
Yes, sir.
Jesus said, the kingdom is within you.
All right.
But if you're asleep, you can't build it. You must be awakened, and it's going to take a master to awaken you. How do you know that the master has come? I'm finished now. Don't go, though. You're going to miss it. Jesus told his disciples, go, you'll see an ass and a mule tied with her. Untie them. Bring them to me. If anybody asks you, what are you doing? Just tell them the master has need of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hear you, minister.
Jesus ain't a thief. He just knew that the ass was tied.
Yeah.
Somebody owned it but wasn't using it. But Jesus had need of it. And so he said to the disciples, don't worry, just do what I tell you. Untie and bring him. And if anybody's saying anything, because they're sure going to say something, tell them the master has come and he has need of them. How does the master have a need? Because the world would not know that the master electrician had come unless there was a job for a master electrician. And it's the work that validates the man.
That's right. That's right.
See, Hiram is in his grave. The prodigal son is in a strange land. The man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho. He's wounded. He's laying there. He's in need of somebody. Whoever does the work is validated. Whoever lifts him is validated.
Stop, minister.
How do you know a master has come?
Stop.
I am your brother,
Yes, sir.
but I am not asleep. I am your brother,
Go ahead.
but I am not dead.
Go ahead, minister.
I am your brother,
Yes, sir.
but I was raised
Yes, sir.
from the dead. And now I got power to go and disturb your grave. And I got oil to pour in your wound. I got money to put you on a beast and take you to an innkeeper
Yes, sir.
to keep you till you get on your feet
Go
again.
ahead, minister. Go ahead.
How do you know that the master has come? Because one of your brothers has been raised.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
Can't you see? Look at me. The Lord is my shepherd. Can't you see?
Yes, sir.
I shall not want. No matter what they do, they can't stop what I'm doing. Why? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Not you, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. When a sheep can lie down in green pastures, he's secure because he knows a meal is there for him. He maketh me to lie down. I never worry about a bill being paid. I never worry about bread on my table. Even though they want to cut me off, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Still waters run deep. And your brother is deep. He's deep. He's deep. He's calm. He's at peace. Though he's hated by the government, hated by the Jews, hated by some of his own people who hate him without a cause, yet he's at peace. Yes, sir. He's 60, but he looks 30. He's an old young man. Go ahead. Can't you tell that I've met the one you talk about? Who said, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. What 60-year-old man look as good as this brother? He restored my soul. The very essence of me was broken and wounded, but He restored my essence. What is your essence? The Quran says every human being is by nature born to submit to the will of God. That's right. That's right. He restored my soul. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. I used to smoke reefers and other things. I used to drink. I used to cut up and cut the food. All of that is behind me. I never liked lying. And I don't lie. I love truth. I'm just telling you the truth. He restored my soul. Yea, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I don't fear any evil. And you know, brothers and sisters in Georgia, a man get killed for thinking like I talk. What do you think about a man who talks like I think? But I'm not afraid. Why? Because He's with me. He prepared a table for me in the midst of my enemies. He anointed my head with oil till my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Who is this that you met, Farrakhan? who applied the master grip to pull you up and then gave you power to pull us up. Who did it? Farrakhan, tell us who did it. A little man from Georgia. Born right down the road a piece in Sandersville, Georgia. Looked like any common, ordinary child, but he was a child of destiny.
Tell us about it.
And the great master came from the east and touched him and raised him. And he raised me.
That's right.
And thee.
That's right.
And now you look at us. All those that are with me, look at these young men. Look how clean they look. You don't see nobody that looks like those who are under the teaching and guidance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Some of these were thugs and criminals and dope heads and hustlers and pimps and gun toters. They don't need guns anymore. They're not on welfare. They work.
That's right.
They have vision. We're building in America. So it is right that the NAACP and the nation walk together.
That's right.
For the advancement not only of people of color, but of all human beings who are interested in advancing. And the only thing that stands between us and advancement is truth. I am so grateful for this privilege of being in your midst. I am so grateful to Brother Michael, who has been here a long time in this city, struggling against the odds to try and make you understand what he believes. And maybe after 15 years, Brother Michael, you brought your brother here. And perhaps now they will understand us just a little bit more. So when you see the brothers in the street with the final call, don't think they're paper boys. They are men with a message. They are young ministers who recognize the power that is in the word that brought them up, and they want you to get the word to bring you up. We're not trying to take you away from the church. No. We just want the truth to be in the church, in the minister, so you can put it in the people. You heard this exegesis of Scripture. Didn't it touch your soul? I mean, didn't it get all down in the marrow of your bones? It's because you and the truth are one. And when you hear it, even though it may be unsettling, even though it may be disconcerting, even though it may be frightening, you know it. You know.
Now, one reason why sometimes I try to bring to you Minister Louis Farrakhan's clip in this channel is because he's one of the people who has been inspiring and talking to black people to really motivate them into believing that everything that is happening to them will pass and they have greatness within them. He has been very vocal when it comes to issues of black empowerment and fighting for the rights of black people. He has called out American government against persecutions targeted to blacks. He has called them out against kind of policies that were developed to really disenfranchise them and even sideline them away from the upward mobility that they could get economically or even through employment. So how have blacks been disenfranchised over the years? In the tapestry of American history, the disenfranchisement of black individuals stands out as a particularly persistent and pernicious thread woven through centuries of systemic inequality. Compared to other minority demographics, such as Latinos, Asian Americans, or Native Americans, the black experience has been uniquely shaped by the legacy of slavery, followed by a relentless campaign to legal, social, and economic separation. While all minority groups have faced discrimination, the depth and the duration of black disenfranchisement reveal a distinct pattern of exclusion. One of the most glaring mechanisms of disenfranchisement for black Americans has been voter suppression, rooted in the post-Civil War era. After the brief promise of Reconstruction, southern states enacted Jim Crow laws, poll taxes, literacy tests, and grandfather clauses designed explicitly to strip black citizens of their voting rights. These measures were rarely applied with the same rigor to other minorities, such as Asian immigrants or Latinos, whose populations were smaller and less politically threatening at the time. Even after the Voting Rights Act of 1965 dismantled many overt barriers, modern tactics like voter ID laws, polling place closures in black neighborhoods, and felony disenfranchisement disproportionately affecting black men due to higher incarceration rates continue to echo this legacy. Economically, black Americans have faced a steeper climb than other minorities. The racial wealth gap, a direct descendant of slavery and redlining, has left black families with a fraction of the assets held by white households, and often less than those of Latinos or Asian American families, who, while also disadvantaged, were not systematically denied property ownership for as long. Discriminatory hiring practices and wage disparities further entrench this divide, with the studies showing black workers consistently earning less than their Latino or Asian counterparts for similar roles. Socially, the criminal justice system has been a uniquely punishing force against black communities. Racial profiling, harsher sentencing, and the war on drugs have disproportionately targeted black individuals, leading to incarceration rates that dwarf those of other minorities. Native Americans, for instance, face high incarceration rates, but their smaller population and distinct legal status under tribal sovereignty create a different dynamic. Latinos, while overrepresented in prisons, have not borne the same historical weight of being labeled a criminal race as blacks have since emancipation. In education too, black students have encountered persistent disenfranchisement through underfunded schools in segregated neighborhoods, a remnant of policies like separate but equal, while other minorities such as Asian Americans have often navigated different stereotypes, sometimes even benefiting from the model minority myth. Thus, while all minorities grapple with injustice, the black experience in America remains a singular saga of resilience against a uniquely sustained assault on their rights and dignity. This is it, and this is what blacks have gone through. They have been targeted economically, they have been targeted socially, they have been targeted in education, and they have been targeted in almost every aspect of life. I think when Minister Louis Farrakhan says that America has been wrong all this time for mistreating its own citizens, black race, he definitely is right in his words. Tell me down in the comment section what you think about this. And if you're watching us for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and also share. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless you. Goodbye.